On Valentine's Day, he accidentally discovers that his wife is kissing another man right in front of him, but his wife greets him as if nothing has happened. She acts perfectly calm, speaking in a strange tone as if she has never known him at all, and even turns back to keep kissing the man sweetly. Joel cannot understand it at all, because not long ago, the two of them had just had a huge fight. So on Valentine's Day, he specifically bought a gift and came to apologize, only to find that his wife already has someone new. Joel thinks his wife must be taking revenge on him, but naturally timid, he does not dare blow up on the spot, and instead turns away without saying a word, then hides in his car and cries alone. Joel complains to his friends that his wife is too cold and heartless, completely ignoring his feelings, and he cannot let her see him in such a pathetic state. Unable to bear seeing Joel keep suffering, his friends hand him an envelope, and inside is a business card for a company called Lacuna. It turns out his wife, Clementine, after argument, could no longer endure the life they were living together. So she went to Lacuna and erased every memory of Joel from her mind. So that chance meeting just now was not his wife pretending. All that unbearable pain was only Joel fooling himself. Joel finds it impossible to believe, because Clementine had clearly said that he was the best man she had ever met. Even though everyone knows Clementine is impulsive and always acts on a whim, surely she could not go this far. The more Joel thinks about it, the more unwilling he feels. So he decides that he is going to be reckless for once too. Following the address on the letter, he finds Lacuna around Valentine's Day. Apart from flowers thrown into trash cans, there are also many people abandoned by love. They line up in long queues, all wanting to forget painful memories. And because of that, the clinic is extremely busy. The receptionist Mary keeps printing business cards, which will be sent to the patients' families, friends, and loved ones, so they know what has happened. Joel does not want to wait even one more second, so he cuts straight to the front of the line. The doctor understands completely, and the first thing he asks Joel to do is go home and find every item connected to Clementine, whether it is the diary from their honeymoon, the carefully posed photos over the years, the photo stickers on the mirror, gifts and books they gave each other, art books, CDs, even cups and towels. Joel has to empty out his home, and the doctor will erase Clementine from Joel's life, carrying 2 big bags full of memories. Joel cannot imagine what life without Clementine will be like, and in a daze, he nearly gets into a car accident. The doctor introduces Joel to his assistants. Then Joel has to tell the doctor every little detail between him and his wife. From their first meeting to their final conversation, the entire process will be recorded and backed up. The doctor tells Joel not to worry, because although the procedure itself does damage the brain, the degree of harm is only about the same as a bad hangover. Every memory has an emotional core. Once that core is removed, the corresponding memory will slowly disappear. The assistant places the items related to Clementine in front of Joel one by one. In order, Joel begins recalling the scenes in his mind. The machine quickly generates the related points with precision, and each point is an emotional core. The doctor will begin deleting from the most recent memories, then slowly work backward. Back at home, Joel swallows the sleeping pills, and the next second, he collapses onto the floor. The assistants arrive soon after, set up the equipment inside the house, and the memory erasing procedure officially begins. In just one night, the operation will be complete. When Joel comes to his senses, he is already inside a whirlpool of memories, and time begins to rewind. He can see himself earlier at the clinic, and can accurately repeat every word the doctor said, as if he has awakened inside a dream. He can even hear the assistants in the real world talking as they operate the equipment. But very quickly, he moves further back in time, which means the memory from moments ago has already been erased. Time rewinds rapidly, pushing backward from the end, and soon arrives at the last fight Joel had with his wife. Clementine always likes hanging out at bars, drinking until she comes home at 3 in the morning. Joel is extremely worried and has been waiting for her to come home, but Clementine says that when she came back, she accidentally damaged Joel's car. Honest Joel sees drunk driving as an extremely irresponsible act. He thinks Clementine may have killed a person or a small animal, and that the tires are probably already stained with blood. Joel's endless paranoid rambling and nagging make Clementine, who is already uncomfortable, even more irritated.
What do you like? A wino?
A wino? Jesus. Are you from the 50s or something? A wino? Face it, Jolie. You're freaked out because I was out late without you. And in your little wormy brain, you're trying to figure out, did you f*** someone tonight?
No, see, Clem. I assume you f***ed someone tonight. Isn't that how you get people to like you?
Joel's reply is deeply insulting, and his only purpose is to win the argument. Clementine cannot stand this kind of mockery, so she turns around and prepares to leave. Joel also realizes that what he just said went too far, and he immediately runs out the door to apologize. Only when he starts driving does he discover that the car has merely been scraped by a fire hydrant, and it is nowhere near as serious as he imagined. It is just that neither of them is willing to soften, constantly using harsh words to hurt each other. The scene is gradually collapsing, and soon Joel will forget this memory of Clementine too, thinking that Clementine must have also relived this scene in her dream, then forgotten it so completely, makes the anger in Joel's heart even harder to suppress. In truth, inside Joel's anger, his unwillingness that the two of them failed to make it to the end far exceeds his resentment toward his partner. With no chance to pause even briefly, time continues rewinding. Clementine loves children very much, so one day while shopping, she suggests that she and Joel raise a child together.
Clem, do you really think you could take care of a kid?
What?
What Joel actually wants to say is that Clementine is too impulsive, not mature enough to be a mother, and that he himself is not confident enough either, but Joel does not say it, which makes Clementine mistakenly think he looks down on her. Hot-tempered Clementine loses it on the spot. The two make a scene arguing on the street, solving nothing, and Clementine brings up breaking up for the first time. Cracks gradually begin appearing in their relationship. Clementine is free-spirited, romantic, and full of life, but she lacks a sense of security and wants to find inner peace. Joel is introverted, slow to react, and thoughtful, and he is drawn to girls with bold personalities. Their complementary personalities bring them together. Clementine always tells Joel everything. She believes that only by sharing everything with each other can people truly be intimate. Only then can they understand and trust each other more deeply. But insecure Joel believes his life is too boring, with nothing worth sharing at all. This makes Clementine suspect that in Joel's diary, there must be passions and thoughts he refuses to tell her. Because of their differences in personality and interests, the two gradually have fewer things to talk about. At dinner, they are as quiet as two strangers, while their conflicts keep growing. Joel hates the foolish way Clementine looks when she is drunk, while Clementine cannot stand all the little messy habits in Joel's life. Suddenly, Joel hears someone in the real world talking to Clementine on the phone, and the tone between them is very intimate. It turns out that besides the assistant, an intern has also come to help with the procedure, and the intern's previous client was Clementine. The intern fell in love with Clementine at first sight, so he took advantage of his position, and after Clementine lost her memories, quickly became her boyfriend. Affected by the real world, Joel inside the dream briefly jumps out of the original order of memories. He remembers seeing Clementine during the day and wants to see what the intern looks like, but because Joel has never actually seen him in his memory, no matter how hard he tries, he cannot see the intern's face. There are only blurry fantasies, and the phone call constantly coming in from reality. The memories continue pushing Joel backward. Time moves farther and farther back, and soon he reaches the period when the two of them were deeply in love. At that time, Clementine had just dyed her hair orange, and paired with her favorite hoodie, she looked like a little tangerine. Joel loves Clementine when she is always full of energy. During the honeymoon phase, everything about the other person is beautiful, with no arguments and no worries, only the kind of smile that never falls as long as they can see each other. Their favorite thing is lying on the frozen surface of Montauk Lake, looking up at the stars. Clementine tells Joel that she thinks she is ugly, always feels panicked and lonely, and lacks a sense of security. When she was little, she once gave an ugly doll the same name as herself. Then she ordered the doll to become beautiful, as if by doing that, she could become beautiful too. Clementine begs Joel never to leave her, and Joel, deeply in love with Clementine, swears he never will. When these beautiful memories resurface, Joel feels unbearable reluctance. He wants to keep these precious memories, even if the two of them will still break up in the end. But once the program starts, it will not stop, and no one can hear Joel's cry for help. Meanwhile, Mary has also arrived at Joel's home, although she claims she is there to help. In truth, she and the assistant are very close, and they plan to party all night. The intern also receives a call from Clementine in the real world, so he rushes over to her home. Although the real Clementine has lost her memories, for some reason, she feels as if she is disappearing. A powerful sense of loss and anxiety surrounds her. Suddenly, Clementine really wants to go to a place called Montauk, as if she goes there every year to skate. To win Clementine's affection, the intern digs through the items Joel brought in, and sure enough, Inside is a diary about the two of them playing on the frozen lake. Then the intern gives Clementine a gift. The Valentine's necklace Joel carefully chose during the day. Clementine likes it very much, but now it is given in the intern's name. Clementine keeps feeling that something is very strange. They lie on the lake looking up at the stars, and the intern imitates the dialogue from the diary, instantly making Clementine feel chilled to the bone. To stop the memories from continuing to disappear, Joel inside the dream begins desperately struggling. He pulls Clementine along, running through the fragments of their past, and every place they pass is vanishing without exception. Joel no longer wants to care whether the real Clementine has already forgotten him. He only wants to hold on to every memory. Finally, he reaches the clinic inside the dream, but because all of these are Joel's own memories, the doctors here can do nothing. Still, Joel has a feeling that someone has stolen his identity and is using him to seduce the real Clementine. Joel wants to stop that thief, and when he opens the door, he has already arrived at the time of his first outing with Clementine. Joel widens his eyes, trying to wake up, and unexpectedly, his real self actually opens his eyes. Only his vision is extremely blurry. Joel blames Clementine, saying that if she had not erased him first, he never would have done this foolish thing out of revenge. The Clementine in his dream apologizes and says that deep down, she did not really want to forget Joel either.
You know me, I'm impulsive.
That's what I love about you.
Suddenly, the dream Clementine comes up with a good idea. As long as Joel takes her somewhere with no shared memories between them, they can hide there until morning, and the machine will no longer be able to keep deleting the memories. Joel suddenly remembers that Clementine has always wanted to know his embarrassing stories, but he has never told her any. So in the next second, the scene changes to a memory of Joel alone, and then his mother pushes the door open, making the atmosphere unbearably awkward. This is exactly the thing Joel never wanted to talk about, and Joel is overwhelmed with shame, while Clementine indeed bursts into laughter. But very quickly, they appear again by the sea in Montauk, which means the memories are still continuing to move backward. Joel has to hide Clementine somewhere even deeper. A distant nursery rhyme gradually becomes clear, and Joel remembers his childhood, a painful secret he has never mentioned to anyone, because he was small and did not like to talk. The children around him always liked to bully him, even forcing him to hurt a little bird. Young Joel helplessly obeyed, and this also shaped the introverted, timid personality he would later have. Clementine beside him can no longer bear to watch, so she pulls Joel away, finally understanding why her boyfriend is always so insecure. Those indelible wounds from childhood need someone to rescue them, and at this moment, Clementine enters a memory where she should never have appeared, reaches out, and pulls Joel out of the nightmare.
You were a little kid. Come on.
That's where I lived. I wish I knew you when I was a kid.
Just as Clementine's plan is about to succeed, the assistant notices something is wrong. Joel has actually moved outside the mapped impressions. He has no choice but to urgently call the sleeping doctor for help, and the doctor's wife is also awakened. To make sure the procedure continues smoothly, the doctor rushes to the scene as quickly as possible. Joel's eyes are wide open, as if he might wake up at any moment, so the doctor directly injects him with anesthetic, without noticing a tear sliding from the corner of Joel's eye. Joel's childhood scene collapses with it. They arrive in wintertime Montauk, the place they loved most when they first became a couple. The memories keep moving backward, and the computer's mapping also returns to normal. The assistant, drenched in sweat, finally breathes a sigh of relief and decides to go outside for some air. Watching the doctor work so seriously, Mary suddenly remembers a poem by Alexander Pope.
The quote goes, "How happy is the blameless vessel's lot, the world forgetting by the world forgot, eternal sunshine of a spotless mind, each prayer accepted and each wish resigned."
Unexpectedly, the doctor also loves poetry, and the more they talk, the more they connect. In the end, Mary cannot hold herself back and kisses the doctor, but the doctor already has a family, and Mary knows very well that she should not do this. Yet for some reason, the impulse in her heart is impossible to suppress. Unfortunately, the doctor's wife, who has followed him there, sees the whole thing. The doctor immediately runs outside after her, begging for forgiveness.
Thomas, this is a one-time mistake.
I'm a stupid girl with a stupid crush. I swear I basically forced him into it.
Don't be a monster, Howard. Tell the girl.
Tell me what?
Oh, you poor kid. You can have him. You did.
It turns out the reason Mary cannot control herself is that she once had a relationship with the doctor, only this improper relationship could not continue, so Mary herself requested to undergo the memory erasing procedure. Looking at the assistant walking toward her, at this moment, everything feels absurd. Mary refuses to believe this is the truth, but the procedure tapes prove everything from the past. Meanwhile, Joel inside the dream has fallen into despair, not knowing what else he can do.
I still thought you were going to save my life. Even after that.
I know.
Be different. If we could just give it another go-round.
Remember me. Try your best. Maybe we can.
Finally, time reaches the moment when the two of them first met. Joel usually stays at home and does not like going out, but at his friend's request, he still goes to the beach to get some air, and it is there that Joel is deeply drawn to a figure from behind. Green hair and an orange hoodie make it impossible for Joel to look away.
I'm Clementine.
I'm Joel.
This is it, Joel. It's gonna be gone soon.
I know.
What do we do?
Enjoy it.
They stroll along the beach, looking at the horizon as they walk until night falls. Clementine is still very bold. She sneaks into a stranger's house just to taste some wine. Timid Joel instinctively wants to run away. The roof begins to collapse. Seawater rises over their feet, and they smell the approach of the end. Joel always wants to escape, as if he has already run away countless times before.
Bye, Joel.
I love you.
At the very end, Clementine whispers in Joel's ear. She does not know what happened either, only that her body feels very cold and very stiff. Outside the train of time are the memories of the two people loving each other and forgetting each other. And then morning comes. The doctor and assistants successfully finish the procedure, clean everything up, and leave as if nothing ever happened. The assistant returns to the clinic after work, while Mary also packs her things and leaves. Having decided to resign, neither she nor the assistant can be sure what their previous relationship was, or whether both of them have undergone memory erasure before. When people choose to forget the moment they feel pain, relationships between people become unbearably chaotic. Joel wakes from sleep, still in the familiar bed, only feeling a little dizzy, as if something beside him is missing. Even worse, he discovers that his car seems to have been damaged by a neighbor. Joel is in a hurry to go to work, and with no other option, he leaves a note asking about it. He remembers that today should be Valentine's Day, but there are surprisingly few people holding flowers. For some reason, Joel feels restless and uneasy. He does not go to work, but instead gets on a train to Montauk. Joel is not an impulsive person, yet in this moment, he chooses to go without hesitation. Montauk in February has no one there to admire it, because the wind is filled with sourness and bitter cold. Joel cannot understand who would come to a place like this for fun. Suddenly, a girl walks over not far away. She is wearing a bright orange hoodie, and Joel likes it, but Joel is extremely shy, and he does not dare make eye contact with a strange woman. He only wants to secretly glance at her a few times, but she still catches him. This feeling is strange, as if they have known each other for a long time, yet suddenly forgotten. Finally, the woman cannot help coming over to greet him.
My name's Clementine, by the way.
I'm Joel.
Hi, Joel.
Although it is only their first meeting, there is an indescribable attraction between them. After getting off the train, Joel takes the initiative to invite Clementine into his car, and Clementine invites Joel upstairs. They drink and talk together, as if they have endless things to say. Clementine hopes Joel will stay tonight, and for some reason, she really wants to marry him. This scares Joel, and he instinctively chooses to run away. Clementine hopes Joel will contact her after he gets home. Joel feels his heart beating wildly, and in the end, he still makes that phone call. The two lie together on the lake, looking up at the stars until dawn. Joel has never seen a woman as beautiful as Clementine. Clementine says she wants to go to Joel's place, and Joel does not refuse. While gathering her things, Clementine casually brings along the mail that has just arrived. Inside is a business card from a company called Lacuna, as well as a cassette tape. It turns out that when Mary resigned, she took all the client's procedure backups with her. She believes memory erasure is far too terrifying, so she returns all the backups to their original owners, listening to the voices on the tape. Both of them find it unbelievable. Clementine runs home in a panic and happens to run into the intern.
Get the fuck away from me!
Following the address, Clementine goes to the clinic, wanting to find out the truth, and as expected, she runs into Joel. Joel has also found the tape backup hidden by the intern. They listen to the recordings of their complaints about each other. Those sharp words seem to remind them at every moment that even if they start over countless times, they will still break apart. Clementine turns to leave, but even knowing they may separate countless times again, Joel still does not want to give up.
I'm not a concept, Joel. I'm just a f***ed-up girl who's looking for my own peace of mind. I'm not perfect.
I can't see anything that I don't like about you.
But you will.
Right now I can't.
But you will. You know, you will think of things. And I'll get bored with you and feel trapped because that's what happens with me.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
As they keep talking, the two of them start laughing again. They play by the beach in Montauk, walking farther away, then slowly moving closer again. Once, twice, countless times, the cycle repeats. Joel and Clementine are drawn to each other because of their differences, and in the end, they also separate because of those same differences. Trapped in an endless loop, someone once said that the screenwriter had actually considered another ending. An elderly Clementine chooses once again to erase her memories of Joel, and before this, they have already repeated the same cycle countless times. Some people think this is a complete tragedy, proving there is no such thing as eternal love in the world. Love is nothing more than a Sisyphean joke of repetition. No matter how many times it starts over, the ending is always the same. People are ultimately unable to stay harmonious together until old age. Clementine also needs so many procedures before she can finally make it to the end with Joel. But in truth, the nature of love has never been smooth sailing. More often, it is full of bumps and wounds, with sweetness and torment always walking side by side. Only beneath that companionship lies endless forgiveness, tolerance, and letting go between two people. When time has passed and you look back, you may be surprised to discover that it is precisely all those trivial, messy conflicts, combined with the passion between them, the closeness, the inseparability, and the willingness to share everything, that together make up the full picture of love. Perhaps we can think about it from another angle. Every time Clementine starts over, she still falls for Joel without hesitation. The two can always find each other in the darkness, think of each other at their lowest and most broken moments, and still be willing to believe in love at the final second, like eternal sunshine, invisible yet warm, forever pointing them in the right direction. Just like the eternal sunshine inside a beautiful mind, there will still be arguments, and there will still be doubt. But so what? None of us wants to live with regret anymore, whether or not the future has a perfect ending. As long as they still love each other now, that is enough. What exactly is love? Is it being tortured by endless arguments until you have no choice but to forget the other person and stay away from them? Or is it that even after staying away, you still cannot help feeling that you love them, and are still drawn to them? Which of these two ideas matters more to you? If it were me, I would definitely choose the second one. I choose to believe in the eternal sunshine deep inside a beautiful mind.